Hi, this is Jill with JourneyWithJill.net, and I don't know about you, but when I first started gardening, some of the simplest questions were the hardest ones for me to get answered. And for me, one of those had to do with peas. I wasn't sure which peas I should be planting, and more importantly, I didn't know when I was supposed to harvest them. So what I'm going to show you is what the difference in peas are and then when to know how to harvest them. First of all, there are three different kinds of peas. You've got your snow peas, which are very tender and you eat them as pods. Then you've got your snap peas, which you eat their pods as well, but they're a little bit crisper. And then you've got your shelling peas, and those are the peas that you think of when you think of canned peas, that you shell the peas and then you eat the little peas inside. So behind me you can see my shelling peas, but I also have a standing of snap peas that we eat fresh in the spring, and we also do a fall planting. So with the snap peas, it's critical that you pick them young. And if you can see right here, this is a very, very young snap pea. And I'm not sure if you can see, but it's very bright in color. It's still got some shine to it. And the most important part is it's flat. Whenever that pea starts to thicken, it's gonna get hard. Trust me, I found that out a couple of weeks ago. I harvested some peas that I thought were perfect, but they were a little bit bulky and you couldn't chew them. So that was not a good experience. So you definitely want to choose the snap peas that are flat and are very, very young. In fact, I haven't picked any that have been too young. So err on the side of picking them early. Now, when the snap peas grow a little bit from this flat stage and they get thicker, you can do two things. The first thing you can do, and even though these are snap peas, such as the sugar snap peas, I have actually use them as shelling peas. So you just snip off the top and then take that string. That string is the one thing that's going to be really, really hard to chew if you try to eat the pods of this one. And then what you're going to do is open it up, and here you've got your peas. And you can eat those like regular peas. So you can actually do that with snap peas too. Now, if they go a little bit too far, and the reason you know that you can still use these is they're still kind of shiny. They still got that little wax coating on them. If you rub them, you can see them change colors, and those are the ones you can still use and still eat. But if they go a little bit further, they're going to look like this. If you notice, the texture is very rough, and it's starting to turn like a yellow color. These are the ones that you're gonna save for your seed for the next season. This is my third season of not buying snap peas because I'm saving my seeds for the next season. And that's a good thing. If you allow your peas to get a little bit too ripe and you have all these peas that you don't know what to do about, just let them go like this, and then what you're gonna do, you're gonna snap them the same way you did last time. Sometimes the shell's a little bit big. And then you're gonna pour these out. You can see how rough that cover is. And then you've got these peas. Now, the important thing to do with these is you're gonna put them on a plate and you're gonna allow them to air dry. You might put a paper towel on them just to make sure that they don't get a lot of dust on them. But what you're gonna do is make sure that they have plenty of air, and you're gonna let them dry. They're gonna shrivel quite a bit, and then once you're sure they're dry and they're shriveled and there's no moisture left, then you can save them. And what I typically do is, for my spring planting, I save them for my fall planting, and then for my fall planting, I save some for my spring planting. So snap peas isn't something you preserve, so you pretty much just eat them fresh. That way you've got snap peas for the fall and the spring, and you just keep going. So those are really fun to grow. Now, as I mentioned behind me, I also have shelling peas. Shelling peas are made specifically for shelling the peas inside the pod. You're not going to be eating the pod. And the way that you can tell that is when they're growing, you can see the little peas just start to develop. The pods aren't thick, they're real thin. And these are key to pick at the right time too. Similar to the snap peas, you're gonna be looking for that sheen, that brightness. If they start getting dull, they're past the stage of picking and canning or eating. And you'll wanna save those like you did the snap peas, as long as they're an heirloom or open pollinated variety. I'm looking here behind me, and this one I see is ready. You can see how it is thick and round, but it also has some of the sheen to it. I can rub my finger on that and it gets shiny. So that is perfectly ready. And so what I'm gonna do is pick a bunch of those and then take them in the house and then have my daughter help me, and we will shell the peas together, and when we have enough, we'll can them. Now, peas are perfect to freeze too. I just prefer canned peas myself. And then you can also just eat them fresh. So that's the best way to have peas all year long, whether you have the snap peas in the spring and the fall, and then the fresh peas in the summer. Depending on your climate, our peas won't grow very much in the hot climate, so that's why we keep them in the spring and the fall. But then you can also have them all winter long if you can them. So I hope that helped you answer some of the questions that were so difficult for me when I was first gardening, and I hope you have a wonderful pea harvest. Have a great day.